Hello everyone, good day and welcome to yet another episode of Sports Hub with Eberi. My name is Eberi Oji, your host on the show, being aired on Spotify for podcasters. It was formerly called Anchor, but now it is Spotify for podcasters. Here on the show, we bring to you live updates on sporting events, games, and activities all over the world. You are welcome once again. Our COR, or our center of reference, has always been football and everything that has to do with footballing activities. But today we're going to For today, we will talk a little bit of boxing. Yes, that's the trending news in the world of sports. Boxing. There was a big fight yesterday. At the wee hours of this morning, it was a fight between Anthony Joshua, the boxing champ, and Francis Ngannou. Yes, Francis Ngannou is an MMA, a UFC champion. And I won't really say that match was I don't know, it didn't last 10 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. It didn't last 10 minutes. It didn't last 10 minutes because, come on, a mixed martial arts champion versus a boxing champion. We were expecting, I know both of them, they tend to throw punches. Like both sports, they tend to throw punches. One has to make use of boxing gloves, while the other one is your fist and all that. But I was expecting, something that would have lasted, because people had high expectations going to watch that competition that was held in Saudi Arabia at the wee hours of this morning. It did not. It didn't. It was just two rounds, and Anthony Joshua. It was just as easy for Anthony Joshua to knock out Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou, of course, we all know he is a French Cameroonian MMA mixed martial arts champion. He's a mixed martial arts UFC champion, and he fought Fury, I guess, if I'm not mistaken, last year, and this few months ago rather, and Anthony Joshua, at the end of the day, he got himself a whooping for participating in the competition alone. He got himself a whooping $20 million. Anthony Joshua got $50 million for. It was not up to 20 minutes. It was not up to 10 minutes. It was just, I guess, it was just for the fun of it. And I don't think if Francis Ngannou, with the way he performed, I heard he was trained, he was coached, or he was managed, he was trained by the legendary Mike Tyson, and I don't think Mike Tyson would be happy. I don't think Mike Tyson will be excited about how that match went at the wee hours of this morning, because it was not really a competition. There was no bite from his part, as from Francis' part. It was just two huge blows, and that was just it. Twice, and that was, in fact, someone said on social media, someone said the match was over even in the first round. It was over in the first round, and I'm like, come on, at least he just had to. It was not, to be frank, it was not it at all. But it happened. Congratulations, Anthony Joshua. Better hard luck, Francis Ngannou. I don't know if he would want to take on a career in boxing. I feel he should just pause and rethink, because I don't think he might thrive over time, but I think he should start small, like fighting those leather weights, lightweight and all that before going up. I don't think going for the big games is something that he would want to venture into now, because that was a huge embarrassment, to be honest. That was a huge embarrassment, to be frank. It was a huge embarrassment. But, kudos to Anthony Joshua. Kudos to Francis Ngannou. At least it's going to be part of his resume that he fought Anthony Joshua. But that was not really a fight, to be frank. That was not really a fight. Now, so that's that about that for boxing. We are moving on to the business of the day, and that is football. Today being the 9th day in the month of March 2024, we've got a lot of games in the EPL. We've got a lot of course, we had some games yesterday in the Serie A and also in the La Liga. La Liga yesterday, Barcelona played against Mallorca. That game was, in fact, After Gundogan missed that penalty, I was like, this game might end up being a draw, but it did not happen. It did not end in a draw. Barcelona came just at the nick of time. Their young chap, their young star, their star boy, Jamil Lamel, if I'm not mistaken. Hope I didn't murder his name. Okay, so Lamel Yamal scored at the 73rd minute of the game. It was assisted by Robert Lewandowski. That game ended a 0-0 in favor of Barcelona, and Barcelona presently are on second place, just 5 points behind table toppers Real Madrid. We've got a lot of games. We have over give or take, we have like 11 more games before the season ends up. And yesterday at the studio yesterday at Top Sports, someone said, one of the crew members in the sports show said, he's a Barcelona fan. He said, well, you never can tell if Real Madrid loses this, and if Real Madrid loses this, that, who knows? Barcelona might do a back-to-back league title, because it's just 5 points and we have like 11 more games for the season. Of course, Barcelona has already played 28 weeks. They have 10 more games. Why Real Madrid they have a game in hand, and Real Madrid winning that game would take them further up the apex of the table. They'll be on 69 points. Why Barcelona will be on 61 points. And Girona as well. Girona, well, we thought to an extent when Girona started the season, Girona, they were topping the league. They were winning games, but so far they've not been it. In their last 5 games, they have lost 3 out of the 5. They've lost to sides that on a very good day they don't lose. They've lost a total of 4 games. This was four defeats. This was a Girona side that had just 1 defeat, and that defeat was against Real Madrid. Back to back Real Madrid won, trashed them. Then it was just 2, but so far they've lost a couple of games, and you keep asking yourself, what happened to Girona that started the season? What happened to Girona that ended December at least with a very, very, very good and impressive result? They hardly lose, but so far they've been losing games. Well, they'll be playing. They'll have a game today against Osasuna. They'll be playing a game against Osasuna. Girona lost against Mallorca. Girona lost against Athletic Bilbao, Athletic Club, and of course the 2 legs against Real Madrid. That's the 4 games they've lost so far this season. They are sitting pretty on 3rd place with 59 points. A win for them will take them back to 2nd place. Yes, the win for them will take us there because they have they'll be on 62 points. Yeah, they'll be on 62 points if they win against Osasuna today. Yeah. So now let's move on to the EPL. This is game week 20. This should be game week 27 if I'm not mistaken. This should be game week 27, and the first game, yes, game week 28, because 27 games has been played so far. Wow, this season is gradually wrapping up. We have 11 more games before the season comes to a halt, before the season ends, and so far the league table has been quite funny. Not really funny. The league table has been quite interesting because it's just 1 point, 2 points separating first place from 3rd place. Arsenal are on 3rd place with 61 points and a better goal difference than the first 2. Arsenal so far in their last 4-5 games, they've scored over 44 goals and thereabout. They've scored a lot of goals, to be precise. They've scored a lot of goals. I'm not really particular about the particular number. Yes, it's like 30 something, but they've been outstanding. They've scored goals, and so far they have plus 45. Yes, they've scored 68 goals and they've considered just 23. They've considered the least goal in the EPL, followed by Liverpool with 25. They've considered just 23 goals. Arsenal has considered just 23 goals in the EPL, and they've scored 68 with a goal difference of plus 45. So it is quite impressive, and they are sitting on the 61st place. They have a game today against Brentford. A win for them in this game will take them to 64 points. That is top of the league table. And why Arsenal fans will be expecting Liverpool and Manchester City to draw, because a draw would favor Arsenal. A draw for them will favor Arsenal because they have a better goal difference. So even if Liverpool draws Man City, Liverpool will be on 64 points. Liverpool definitely will be coming down because Arsenal, with a win for Arsenal and a better goal difference, of course they have 45 points plus 45 points now. A win against Brentford, I don't think they'll be scoring 1-0 or 2-0. They will score more goals. Now, when you're scoring more goals against a Brentford side, your goal difference, and you concede less, your goal difference would reduce. Your goal difference will be much. Yes, the goal difference will be better off. That the goal for will be higher and the goal against will be lower. So Arsenal will be sitting at the apex of the league table by tomorrow. Okay, by the end of today, yes, with a win against Brentford, Arsenal fans would hope and pray that they remain at the apex of the league table. But then that's not how football is not played. Football is not played by mere wishful thinking. It is a sport that is played 90 plus minutes on the pitch. So it is the pitch that is the decider. So let's see what happens. Now let's move on to the games that will be played. That will be played today. Now let's get on with it. Manchester United will be starting up today's game by 1:30 p.m. That game we played by 1:30 p.m. and it is Manchester United at Old Trafford against Everton. Yes, against Everton. Everton. They had 6 points given back to them. Yes, it had 6 points given back to them after a 10-point reduction. Yes, now it is Manchester United versus Everton by 1:30 p.m. United has not been it in their last 2 EPL games. They lost against Fulham 2-0, and they lost against Manchester City, their local rivals. They lost against Manchester City by 3-1. Despite the 8 minute, the 6 minute the 6 minute goal by Rashford. We thought Manchester United would be out to get a win at the Etihad against Manchester City, but it did not happen. The second half for Phil Foden happened. 2 goals for Phil Foden, and of course the league, the highest goal scorer, the I won't really call Haaland a clinical Haaland. Haaland so far this season, he has missed a lot of chances. To be frank, he has missed a whole lot of chances. But out of 5 chances Haaland would miss, out of 5 chances that comes Haaland's way, he's certain to score at least 1 or 2. Yes, he's not as wasteful as Nicolas Jackson of Chelsea. Chelsea fans, no vex, so but that's just it. He's not as wasteful as Nicolas Jackson. So it is Manchester United. Manchester United in their last 2 games, they've lost back to back, and they will be hoping Erik ten Hag, despite the injuries they have presently, will be hoping that they return back to winning ways. We'll be hoping they return back to winning ways and at least try to challenge Tottenham. Because I feel if they had won their last 2 games, that is 6 points, they would have been topping. They should have been on 50 points. Yes, in as much as I know they have a -2 goal difference, but then you never can tell if they had won their last 2 games, they would have been on 50 points and on 5th place. Yeah, but it didn't happen. Tottenham are still on 5th. Why Manchester United are on 6th place with 44 points? A win for Manchester United against Everton will see them further solidify their position, their stance on 6th place, because any win for West Ham are on 7th place. If West Ham are on 7th place with 42 points, if West Ham win their the game they'll be playing this weekend, then and the Manchester United ends up losing their 3rd consecutive game, then it becomes an issue. It becomes an issue, to be frank. It becomes an issue for Erik ten Hag and his squad. Yes, I understand they've got a lot of injury concerns. Andre Onana would be starting in between the sticks. We have Dalot. Dalot is okay. Lindelof is fine. Rafael Varane is cool. Amrabat, I don't really know, because Amrabat might just be the one to start because Luke Shaw is out injured. Luke Shaw is out, and Evans just had a knock, but I don't know how serious, if he has returned back to training. Yes, we have Casemiro, we have Kobe Mino, we have Antony, Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho, we have Rashford. Kudos, I use the opportunity to say kudos to Erasmus Højlund. Højlund won the February Player of the Month. He scored over 5 goals, if I'm not mistaken. 4 games played in the month of February before he got that injury. That injury halted a whole lot of things for Manchester United. Last 2 games he has not played for United. They ended up losing those games. Like, he has been so instrumental for Erik ten Hag's side. It's a pity he's still out injured. Hopefully he returns back as soon as possible, because injury has plagued the side so far. Now looking at Everton, they've been up and down. We have Beto as their striker. We have Dakore plays as a 10 and also as an 8. We have McNeil plays at the wing, the left wing, and we also have Jack Harrison that they got from Leeds United during the summer. Was it during the summer? I guess during the no, it was not during the summer. It was in January. They got Jack. I don't really know, but I know he used to play. He used to be a captain for Leeds United, Jack Harrison, but now he plays for Everton. We have James Garner, Onana. We have Milienko that he plays as a left back. We have Jared Braithwaite, Tarkowski, Ben Godfrey, and of course Jordan Pickford in between the sticks for Everton. Who is going to win that game? Who is going to win that game? Sean Dyche would want to see his Everton side, try their chances, like try to see how best they can go. The last game they played against Manchester United, they lost that game. That was at the Toffees home ground. Yes, the Toffees home ground. They lost that game by 3-0. Manchester United won that game expressly. Will a repeat of what happened at Everton's home turf be happening again at Old Trafford today by 1:30? Or will Everton try as much as possible, at least to nick out at least a draw? We all know Manchester United, they are shaky behind it, or tend to concede goals. They've conceded a lot of goals. So will they be conceding more goals? Will Everton try to, bank on the way at which Manchester United tends to concede goals and get a win against United, making Eric Ten Hag losing 3 games in a row? Will 3 games defeat be happening today? Well, let's see what happens. The game will be played by 1:30 p.m. 1:30 p.m. Yes, today at Old Trafford. Now, for the next games that we play, we've got a lot of games that we play today by 4 p.m. That is 16 o'clock. By 4 p.m. we've got over 3 games that will be played. That is Goal Rush. We've got Bournemouth versus Sheffield United. That game is a straight win for Bournemouth. We have Bournemouth, Sheffield United. Crystal Palace lost their last game, and I feel Crystal Palace want to bounce back after that defeat. That was their new coach's first defeat as a coach for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace versus Luton Town at Selhurst Park by 4 p.m. By 4 p.m. Yes, the game will be played by 4 p.m. Today at Selhurst Park. Eberechi Eze is back. That's a good one for Crystal Palace. It's a good one for them because I imagine the kind of games they lost. They've lost a lot of games with Kim not being in that side. Eberechi Eze, Olise still out injured, but having Eberechi back is a huge booster for Oliver Glasner. Oliver Glasner is their new manager since Roy Hodgson left. Yes, since Roy Hodgson left. So he is their new manager, and he would want to return back to winning ways after the defeat they had last weekend. The defeat they had last weekend. The last game they played against Luton Town. Luton Town, as Luton Town's home turf, won that game by 2-1. Will Luton Town be getting 6 points from Crystal Palace? The Crystal Palace now pales in comparison to the Crystal Palace that played with the Crystal Palace they faced under Roy Hodgson. This is a new coach, a new formation, the new style of play and all that. The last game, Crystal Palace lost against Tottenham at Tottenham's home turf by 3-1. I don't think Crystal Palace would want to do a back-to-back defeat against Luton Town. Luton Town, well, they've been okay, but then in a couple of games they've struggled. To be frank, in a couple of games they've lost so far. In their last. They've lost a while. They've lost. February was not just their month. The last time Luton Town won a game was against Brighton. They won that game by 4-0, and that was on the 30th of January. And since then, they drew against Newcastle by 4-4. It was a 4-4 draw at Newcastle's St James Park. Since then, they have lost. In fact, they didn't win any game in the EPL. They did not win any game at all in EPL. The 3 games that was played so far, in fact, yes, the 3 games that they played in the EPL, they lost all 3. They lost against Sheffield United. Surprisingly, Sheffield United lost against Sheffield United by 3-1. They lost against Manchester United at their home turf. In fact, they've lost back-to-back games. They've lost 3 games straight at their home turf. This is a home turf that used to be very, very formidable for them. This is a home turf that they always had. People had issues coming to get results. People struggled to get results there. But they lost against Sheffield United at home by 3-1. They lost against Manchester United at home by 2-1. They lost at Liverpool's home turf by 4-1. And in the FA Cup round of 5, they lost to Manchester City by 6-2 at their home turf as well. Like as at Luton Town's home turf. like they've not been it at all. They've not been it. On the 2nd of March at home, their home ground is not it's not what it used to be. They lost against Aston Villa by 3-2, and now they play Crystal Palace away. Honestly, if I'm to predict this game, I see a Crystal Palace winning against Luton Town. Luton Town, they've not been it at all. They've not been it. That game will be played by 4 p.m. alongside Bournemouth versus Sheffield United. And finally, the last game for 4 p.m. is Wolves versus Fulham. Wolves versus Fulham. That game will be quite tough. It's going to be a tough one, considering the fact that to an extent, okay, it was Watford. Yes, Marco Silva actually managed Watford. From Watford, he went to Everton. From Everton, he came to Fulham. So, that game, Fulham, they've been, I won't really say they've been okay, but then they won against Manchester United. They won against the Manchester United. They won against the last game they played. Both teams played. It was at Fulham's home turf, and Fulham won that game by 3-2. Yes, Fulham won that game by 3-2, and they won also against Brighton. It's been quite a back-to-back win for Marco Silva since the likes of what's this guy's name again? Alex Iwobi, yes, Alex Iwobi has been quite outstanding. Even Calvin Bassey as well. Since they returned from AFCON, Manchester United, they won against Manchester United at Old Trafford, and they won against Brighton at home. Yes, at their own home, as in Fulham's home turf. They won against Brighton by 3-0. So it's been quite a good one. Back-to-back wins is a huge booster. For Marco Silva and his team and his side. My question still remains: when exactly are they going to use the guy they loaned from Chelsea, the striker, the one Chelsea fans tend to call the Indian police striker, which is none other than Armando Broja. I don't know what he's not played any game for. He has not played any game for Fulham. Even if he has, maybe he just came in as a cameo appearance. He has not really played any game at all. So the last game Wolves played, they lost at Newcastle's home turf by 3-1. The last game Wolves won was against Brighton by 1-0. That was at Wolves home turf. So the last game they won at home, they played at home, they won that game, and they will be playing against Fulham at home at their Munich Stadium. Yes. So I see Wolves. It's going to be quite a tough one. I see a draw in this game. Wolves versus Fulham. The game we played by 4 p.m. I see a draw in that game, to be frank. Now, finally, the last game that we played today will be Arsenal versus Brentford. This is all Arsenal's games are games everybody will want to watch. Like, Arsenal they play beautiful football. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but when you see the truth, you just have to say it. When you see the truth, honestly, when you see a football club play good football, the only game they lost this season was in the Champions League, and that was the first leg against Porto. They play Porto on Tuesday. Yes, they play Porto on Tuesday, and you never can tell what will be happening against Porto. But it is Brentford first before Porto. Yes, it's Arsenal versus Brentford. Mikel Arteta has done an outstanding job, with Arsenal, with this Arsenal side. It's this Arsenal side are much more compact than what they were last season, like when they challenged, when they were top of the league. As at this time last season, they were topping the league. They were topping the league for 30 game weeks, EPL game weeks. Yes, before what happened, and they fumbled in the last 8 games remaining in the season, for the season to wrap up and for them to win their first title in 19 years, but it did not happen. So this season he has, especially the turn of 2024, it's just they've not lost any game in the EPL. They've not drawn. They've scored more than 4+ goals in their in all games in January. They won all their games in February. Mikel Arteta won what's it called? Manager of the month in the month of February. This is the 7th manager of the month since he became Arsenal manager. It's been a great one for them, and they score goals. Declan Rice is scoring goals. Havertz is scoring goals. Everyone in their attack everyone is playing well, and they're keeping clean sheets. Rice has over 9 clean sheets now. Yes, Raya won't be playing today because he is on loan from Brentford. It will be Ramsdale. The last time Arsenal played Brentford, Arsenal won that game, if I'm not mistaken. Arsenal won that game. Yes, they won that game by by a goal to nil. Yes, it was a lone goal to nil. Yes, Arsenal won that game by a goal to nil. Well, Brentford drew against Chelsea in their last 4 games. In their last 3 games, the last time they won a game was on the 10th of February, and it was against Wolves. A 2-0 victory against Wolves. In their last 5 games, they've won 1, they've lost 3, and they drew 1. So it's been defeats. It's just since 20th of January they've won just 2 games and they've lost 5 games. That's massive. Against a clinical Arsenal side. I don't think Thomas Frank's Brentford, the Bees, stand a chance against the Gunners. I don't think Gunners would gun those Bees down. I see an Arsenal winning this game because this is going to be a huge one for us. Arsenal winning this game will take them top of the league. And man, when you are top of the league, you want to come down. With the way Arsenal is playing, when they top that league and Liverpool, Manchester City draw tomorrow, it's an Arsenal's league title to lose, to be frank. So Arsenal, Arteta, they would ensure to get maximum points. And by maximum points, I mean the whole 3 points against the Brentford with a lot of goals to be scored. Let's see what happened. I don't know. Antony is being scouted to be joined either Arsenal, Chelsea, or I don't know. But then Antony will be out. He's going to play spectacular today. He wants to prove why he's the right candidate to join Arsenal. So he want to try as much as possible to at least get a goal today or play fantastic. So let's see what Thomas Frank and his Brentford side have in store for Arsenal. But definitely this is a win game for Arsenal. No two thoughts about it. So let me go down. Let me run down the games for today. For 1:30 p.m. we have Manchester United versus Everton at Old Trafford. Bournemouth will take on Sheffield United at Bournemouth's home turf. Crystal Palace will take on Luton Town at Selhurst Park. Wolves will take on Fulham. By this game, Crystal Palace versus Luton, Bournemouth versus Sheffield United, and the Wolves versus Fulham. All 3 games will be played by 4 p.m. Then finally, the last game for today, it is Arsenal versus Brentford, and that game will be played by 6:30 p.m. at the Emirates. In the La Liga, we have by 2 p.m. we have Valencia versus Getafe. By 2 p.m. Cadiz will take on Atletico Madrid by 4:15 p.m. By 6:30 we have Granada versus Real Sociedad. Girona will take on, that's the last game for today in the La Liga. We have Girona versus Osasuna by 9 p.m. In the Serie A we have Cagliari. Yes, yesterday we had the Serie A game. It was Napoli versus Torino. That game ended 1-1 with the jersey number 77 of Napoli. The Georgia guy, a winger with a very long name, Calastelia or something, but then I call him jersey number 77. He scored a goal, and Torino also scored. Osimhen didn't score. Even at the studio yesterday, when I was asked what are my predictions, do I see Osimhen scoring a hat-trick the way he scored in his last game? I was like, I don't think hat-tricks don't come every day. Hat-tricks don't come every day. I don't see an Osimhen scoring a hat-trick, and he didn't even score yesterday. The game ended in a stalemate 1-1 draw yesterday. Cagliari will be taking in the Serie A. Cagliari will be taking Salernitana today by 3 p.m. While Sassuolo will take on Frosinone by 3 p.m. Bologna will take on Inter Milan, the league leaders Inter Milan. That's going to be a straight win for Inter Milan. That game will be played by 6 p.m. And finally, last game in the Serie A today will be played by 8:45 p.m. That is Genoa versus Monza. In the Bundesliga, we have Augsburg will take on FC Henelem. The game will be played by 3:30 p.m. today. Bayern Munich will take on Mainz. Bayern Munich won their game against the game against Lazio by 3-0. I feel that is going to be a booster for Thomas Tuchel's side to kick off their season and see how best to. I know this season is almost ended. We have just 9 more games, 10 more games before the season ends. they would try as much as possible to chase Bayer Leverkusen, the league runners, like the league leaders, all the way to the last game of the season. So it is Bayern Munich versus Mainz. I see Bayern Munich winning this game fair and square. Borussia Mönchengladbach will take on FC Cologne. FC Cologne will be played. That game will be played by 3:30 p.m. The Bayern versus Mainz game will be played by 3:30 p.m. as well. RB Leipzig will take on Darmstadt by 3:30 p.m. And finally, last game for today in the Bundesliga, German Bundesliga, it is Werder Bremen versus Borussia Dortmund. That game will be very, very tough. I see a Borussia Dortmund winning that game against Werder Bremen. Well, I see them winning that game against Werder Bremen. In the League One, we have Lorient versus Lyon. Lens will take on FC Brest. Yeah, that is all for today in the La Liga. All games will be played in Europe's top 5 leagues. Now moving on to the game, the gang game for tomorrow. Yes, moving on to the game for tomorrow. It's going to be quite interesting. In fact, this particular team needs a very, very tough, very, very nice. Okay, 1 minute, please. Yeah, I like this. Now, so Tomorrow's games is going to be a game kind of game. Aston Villa will take on Tottenham Hotspur by 2 p.m. Brighton will take on Nottingham Forest. Aston Villa will take on Tottenham by 2 p.m. tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 10th day in the month of March 2024. Yes, Aston Villa, they won their last game. They've been up and down. Aston Villa has been in the midst of the top 4. Aston Villa has been in the midst of the top 4 at some point. They've been, up and down. It's not been an easy one for Unai Emery, but then he's been there. He's on 4th place. At the period they were even on 2nd place. They had just to win Sheffield United and top the league, but they goofed. They did not win Sheffield United, and since then it's been up and down for him. Though they are on 4th place with an impressive 55 points from 27 games played. They've scored 59 goals and they've considered 39 with a plus 16 rather for them. They've scored 59 goals. They've considered 37 plus 22. Yes, plus 22. Yeah. Now they are topping Tottenham Hotspur by 5 points. A win for Tottenham will take them. Aston Villa will still be on 5th place. On 4th place with 59 points, even if they lose today. But then they would want to win. They want to win to at least try to push on with, because 58-61 is just 3 points separating Aston Villa from Arsenal on 61 place. Yes, so I feel they would want to try as much as possible to win this game against Tottenham. Though it's going to be a tough one. I'm not saying it's going to be a walk in the park. For Unai Emery's side, it's going to be a tough one for them. I don't see it being a walk in the park. Like I said earlier, I don't see it being a walk in the park for Unai Emery. So that game will be played tomorrow by 2 p.m. Aston Villa's at the Villa Park versus Tottenham. Yeah. By 3 p.m. tomorrow, we have Brighton versus Nottingham Forest. Brighton, they lost by a very big margin. Their Europa League hopes of qualifying for the quarterfinals it's been dashed. They lost against Roma at Roma's home turf by 4-0, 2 goals apiece in each half. I don't see Nottingham Forest. Brighton could win. Brighton could win against Nottingham Forest. Yeah. Brighton a big could. They could win against Nottingham Forest. They could win against Nottingham Forest. That game will be played tomorrow by 3 p.m. We also have another 3 p.m. game. That is West Ham versus Burnley. It's a straight win for West Ham. A straight win for West Ham against Burnley. And finally, the game of all games. Yeah. The game of all games. The game everyone is talking about. The biggest game this weekend. The biggest game of this weekend will be played tomorrow by 4:45 or let's just say 4:30 p.m. It is Liverpool versus Manchester City. This game will be played at the Anfield, at Anfield, Liverpool's fortress, Liverpool's home turf, Anfield. Both teams, they've been outstanding. Both teams, they've been playing very, very impressive football. Liverpool has won their last 5 games. Manchester City has won their last 5 games. Yes, they've won their last 5 games. Yes, outside the draw against Chelsea, they've won their last 5 games. They've been outstanding against Man United, against Man United, against Luton, against FC Copenhagen. Like, they've been high flyers. Foden has been outstanding. He has been the unsung hero. I won't really call Foden an unsung hero. He has been the hero that we've seen so far. Most of the games, Haaland really doesn't show up 100%. But then, I know he scored a hat-trick. He scored 5 goals against Luton in the FA Cup. Well, that's FA Cup. I'm talking about the EPL. Haaland, though he's still topping the chart with the highest goals. He has over 19 goals, if I'm not mistaken. But there are certain times he's missing in action, like he might end up scoring a goal at the tail end, just like he did against Manchester United. But at the bulk of the game, we don't really see the Haaland we used to see last season. But let's see what happens. This game is going to be a very, very tough one. It's Liverpool versus Manchester City. Beg your pardon. Liverpool versus Manchester City. It is first and second place. Liverpool presently are at the apex of the table with 63 points, while Manchester City are on 62 points, and Arsenal are on 61 points. A win for Arsenal will take Arsenal. A win for Arsenal today, being the 9th, today being Saturday, we take Arsenal to the apex of the table. Arsenal fans, like I said earlier in the show, Arsenal fans will be wishing and praying that the game ends in a draw, because a draw for both teams would ensure that Arsenal remains at top of the league table, because they have a very better goal difference. So it is 63-62. Who will win this game? I feel Manchester City will be winning this game. I know Liverpool, this is a fortress, but Manchester City, Pep would, I guess, they've won at Anfield 2 times in their last 32 meetings or thereabouts there. I know he would want to break that jinx. Liverpool, they've got players that are out injured. The likes of Konate is out injured, but then they've got youngsters that are hungry to play football. Virgil van Dijk, he might be pairing there with Gomez. Trent is coming back soon. Bradley might play. Robertson or Tsimikas might play at the left wing. While Bradley will play Bradley or Trent will be playing at the right wing. They could pair Gomez and Virgil van Dijk, or is it Quanch or something, the youngster from the academy, the center of the pack, in the defense, the heart of the defense. They've got Endo, they've got McAllister. Szoboszlai is back from injury. Salah, their star man, is back from injury. Darwin Núñez scored in their last game in the Europa League against Slavia Prague. They've been outstanding. So I see they've got a very healthy squad, and they would want to challenge Man City as well, because they want to ensure that they maintain the top of the league. So it's going to be a tough one tomorrow. That game is not a game you want to miss. That game we played by 4:45 or 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. The same time, we also have in the Nigerian MPFL, we've got a Southwest derby. It's a Southwest derby. It is Sporting Lagos versus Remo Stars. Remo Stars. They'll be playing that game at the Onikon Stadium. Tomorrow. This is not a game you would want to miss for anything. It's not a game you want to miss for anything at all. I'm not saying it's Liverpool Man City is a game. Of course, you can watch the replay, but this is an opportunity for you to watch a live show, a live game in Lagos for Lagosians. This is a game you would want to watch. One of the best in the land, Sporting Lagos versus Remo Stars. So that game we played it tomorrow at the Onikon Stadium. I will be there live and direct to watch and cheer. Of course, I'll definitely cheer Sporting Lagos. Sporting Lagos is my team. In as much as I know the youth team of Remo Stars Beyond Limits, they are a team I like. They're a team they've been doing well as well. But then in the MPFL, it is Sporting Lagos, Abia Warriors, and all that. So that's it. That's that about that. So by 4:45 tomorrow, it is Liverpool versus Manchester City. What are your predictions? Kindly state your predictions in the comment section. On Monday Night Football, we have Chelsea. Chelsea will be playing against Newcastle on Monday night. Yeah. Chelsea will be playing against Newcastle on Monday night at the Stamford Bridge. That bridge is broken already. Chelsea played against Leeds United and won against Leeds United. They were trailing by 2. It was a 2-2. It was a 2-1. They came from 2-1 to 2-2. Then finally they won that game expressly by 3-1 in the FA Cup. That they qualified for the quarterfinals with a 3-2 victory against Leeds United, and they played They came from behind again against Brentford. It was almost a 2-1. It was at the nick of time, at the 90th minute, if I'm not mistaken, that the Sassy headed in Cole Palmer's cross. So I don't know the Chelsea that will be turning up like. From the press conference Pochettino had yesterday on Friday. Yes, yesterday. Was it yesterday on Thursday? I don't know. But then his press conference earlier this week, yesterday or day before yesterday, Chilwell is out injured. Colwell is out injured. And Cuckoo is still out injured. Cucurella is still. He has started training, light trainings. Like the injury, but then Newcastle they've had more injury. They've had more injury than Chelsea. They've had more injury, and they've been getting good results despite over 20 plus players of theirs being out injured. They've tried to, at least they have 40 points. They are on 8th place. They have 40 points. Yes, so. Chelsea, I don't know the Chelsea that will be turning up. I don't know the Chelsea. Chelsea are on 36. After 26 games played, they have 36 points. They've scored 44. They've considered 43 with a +1 goal difference. That goal difference would want to know at the end of Monday if it's going to be a minus or a plus. It is Chelsea versus Newcastle. The last game they played in the EPL, Newcastle won that game against Chelsea. So it will repeat. Will Newcastle be doing 6 points against Chelsea, or will Chelsea do what they did against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, in the course of in the Carabao Cup quarterfinals? Let's see what happens. Hopefully, I pray Chelsea wins. I pray Chelsea wins. I pray Chelsea wins. At least getting in, as much as Chelsea will still be, maybe they would metamorphose back into 10th place or 9th place. It's still that 10th, 9, 10, 11 has been Chelsea's birthright all through this season. It's not been an interesting one for them. It's not been an interesting one for Chelsea, especially for their fans. Newcastle on the other side, despite the injuries they've had, they've tried. Eddie Howe has tried to get good results. They are on 40 points. This pales in comparison to what they achieved last season, but then a lot has happened. A lot of injury concerns, injury scares, injury worries, and all has hampered this Newcastle side. And despite it, they've tried to at least get decent results in games. So let's see what happens. That game will be played on Monday night, MNF, Monday Night Football by 9 p.m. Yeah, I guess this is where we'll be wrapping it. We're calling it a wrapper in today's show, Sports Hub with Ebere. This my name remains Ebere Oji, your host or your anchor on this show, being aired on Spotify for podcasters. Thank you very much. What are your predictions? Do you think Brentford would surprise or shock Manchester? Arsenal at the Emirates, or do you think Arsenal will do the normal things they've been gunning down everybody by 5 shots, 6 shots, not conceding any, or will that be changing today? The game we played tonight by 6:30 p.m. What are your predictions? Liverpool, Manchester City. What are your predictions? Manchester United versus Everton. What are your predictions? Kindly state there are options where you can state your predictions in the comment section. Of course, this will be posted as well on our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel, it is at Rahen Sports, at one Rahen Sports Rahen Sports is spelled RAHENCE, then sports all together as one word. I take it again, at one Rahen Sports, RAHENCE Sports, Rahen Sports. Thank you very, very, very much, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. I may the best team win. I hope your team wins. I hope your team gives you a nice weekend by getting 3 points, not just the draw or the defeat, but all 3 points in their games this weekend. Now, this is a very saying thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. Yeah.